My name is Buki Yusuf, and my Twitter handle is @Rondell10_B. I'm a science teacher, consultant, and school leader, and I'm based in London. I first heard of Sophie's Edtech podcast last year when I happened to be at a Women Ed event, and I was struck by her passion for what she was doing and just interested. I love EdTech, and I can see how much influence it can actually have in the way we do things within education. So that piques my interest. I also like to listen just to get a range of different ideas that are actually taking place and also have a reference point. I'm really pleased to see how well the podcasts have actually gone, and I'm happy to share a first anniversary message. So congratulations, Sophie, and here's to the next few years.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
La, 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 la. Hi everyone, welcome to this listener special of the Edtech Podcast. We're celebrating our first birthday of the Edtech Podcast and taking the chance to thank you all for listening in. In this short episode, we'll be sharing the picture on who listens in, the content we've put out, and the community who help make it all possible. We'll also be sharing your well wishes, so thank you for sending them in. Finally, we'll be giving you the full details on our Patreon campaign and listener survey, where we ask you for help. Here's Kirsty Tonks from Shireland Collegiate Academy School in the UK to kick off.
This is Kirsty Tonks, Principal Designate of Shireland Technology Primary School in the West Midlands in the UK. A huge congratulations to everybody at the Edtech Podcast and happy first birthday. What fabulous news. Just wonderful to hear the great things that you've been doing in this last year and the job of bridging the gap between education and technology, because it's a real issue, and how teachers get to hear the latest things that are happening in the world of technology and how they can use it in their teaching and learning. So keep up the good work, and here's to the next year. Bye.
Thanks, Kirsty, and everyone go and check out the @ShirelandCA Twitter account to see what they're up to. So, what are the headline stats from the last year? Well, we've released at least one podcast every week since April 29th, 2016. That's 65 episodes in total, covering everything from efficacy to saving teacher time, to gaming, to teaching and learning for people on the move. What about downloads? Well, we've just tipped over 50,000 downloads, 50,046 at the time of writing, and this was above my guesstimations when I put the first year stats together, where I estimated we'd be at 47,000, so hooray for that. That's an average of 1,200 listens each week, or between 5,000 and 6,000 a month. That's enough stats for the moment. Before we find out more, let's hear from Mark Anderson, aka @ICT Evangelist, with another listener message.
Hey Sophie, it's Mark Anderson here, ICT Evangelist. Congratulations on your first year. I really do enjoy checking out your podcast when you put them out. It's a real great companion, and I learned so much. You had some fantastic guests. Here's to your next year. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Mark, and keep tipping me off with all those useful apps. So, from over 135 guests in the past year, our top 5 downloaded episodes have been Dominic Norrish, the Group Tech Director from United Learning in the UK, Jessie Lozano, CEO of PyTop, Joe Dale of #MFL Twitterati fame and long-term podcaster, Deborah Quazzo, Angel EdTech investor from GSV Partners in the US, and ex-Angry Bird Lauri Jarviletto of gaming studio Lightnear based in Finland. It's great to hear from past contributors about enjoying the experience of being on the show. Here's Stefan Kasper from the Institute for Learning Innovation and Development at the University of Southampton and episode 29 of the EdTech Podcast.
Hi Sophie, this is Stefan at Dots and Spaces. I'd really like to wish you a happy birthday. Congratulations, a whole year of podcasts. Really, has it gone that quickly? Amazing. So thank you. It's great to just been a little part of that, to being able to meet you, and really still very proud of the interview that we did. It was really great. So here's to many, many more years to come, and just like to raise a toast and say happy birthday.
Thanks, Stefan. So, one of the questions I always get is who listens in. So, we have listeners from all over the world, 109 countries in total, in fact. The top 10 countries who listen in are the UK, US, Australia, Ireland, Germany, France, China, Canada, UAE, and Spain. The UK and US definitely take the lion's share, and from our social feed, listeners are from right across education and tech. Your school teachers, ICT coordinators, HE and FE learning technologists, edtech startups and blue chips, publishers and online training orgs, government and investors, and media companies. In fact, on social, you're very active. Over 3,500 of you have joined our Twitter accounts since April 29th, 2016, with a whopping 1.3 thousand likes of various posts. We'd love to also see you on our Instagram and Facebook pages, and you can always leave us a message on upcoming or past episodes at speakpipe.com/the Edtech Podcast. Talking about social, here's Simon Greenhow, the assistant principal from Seoul Foreign British School, who connected with some London schools through the podcast.
Hello, my name is Simon Greenhouse. I'm assistant principal at Seoul Foreign School, British section. I tune into the Edtech Podcast weekly from Seoul, I guess to keep abreast of what's happening in the UK, but also the broader trends and things like that. It's always very entertaining. I guess my favourite episode or my favourite thing was contacting Sophie through Twitter and bringing about one of our lads going over to London and visiting a school and sort of involved in their technology there. I'd like to thank Sophie for that, kind of the human side of social media. It's my birthday this week as well, actually. Slight age difference between the podcast and me. But congratulations, and wish you all the best for a successful future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Simon. Hopefully his story helps to prove the value of the EdTech podcast and what we're trying to do to improve the dialogue between ed and tech for better innovation. If you're a fan, we've got 2 messages for you this week. The first message is to check out our Patreon campaign, which we kick off this week at www.patreon.com/the EdTech Podcast. Patreon is a platform to allow fans of independent creative media to help support content creation. For the EdTech Podcast, that means helping to pay our monthly hosting, audio, Google Cloud, Skype, workplace and kit costs, which we need to put out the show. I crazily quit my job to deliver the content you hear each week, as I believe podcasts are an incredible medium to discuss and understand complex issues. If you believe the same, go to patreon.com/the EdTech Podcast and check out our page. All supporters from $1 upwards will receive a public shout out, and then upwards from that, including EdTech Podcast kit, access to Patreon only content and features on the show. Thank you to T Films for all your help creating our vid. Before the second message, here's Gaz Needle from Twitter chat #PrimaryRocks.
Hey EdTech Podcast and Sophie, congratulations on making it to 12 months. It takes strength and dedication to get that far, so well done.
Thanks very much, Gaz. Loving your Twitter chat and keep up the good work there. Our second message during this listener special is to ask you to spare 4 minutes for our listeners survey. We'll be sharing the link in the show notes and on Twitter. The listener survey is all about finding out even more about what you want and how we can deliver our content to meet your needs. It's a simple Google form, and there's some EdTech kit from Lego to graphic novels to UHD animation kits on offer for a randomly selected few of you who complete the survey. Next up, before our last final stats, here's Fiona Harvey, Digital Scholarship and Content Innovation Manager at the University of Southampton and President at the Association for Learning Technology.
Hi Sophie, it's Fiona Harvey. I'm the Digital Scholarship and Content Innovation Manager in the Hartley Library at the University of Southampton. And I just wanted to wish you happy birthday, and I cannot do this in the style of Lionel Richie. I've been practicing all afternoon. So I just want to say happy birthday. I often listen to this podcast when I'm taking a walk to get my steps up for my Fitbit. Have a good one. Hope to see you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Fiona. And don't worry, there'll be plenty of time for that Lionel duet in the future, I'm sure. Last up, but by no means least, it's our community, without which the EdTech podcast would be absolutely nowhere. We've been lucky enough to have the support of 15 media partners and 20 sponsors across all of our podcasts and live podcast events. A big thank you to all of you involved. We've also participated in 10 global events, including live podcasts and events in Lisbon, Copenhagen, London and Austin. To close us out, here's Richard Smith at Amazing ICT telling us about his typical day.
Hello, it's Richard Smith here from Amazing ICT, and I've got 90 seconds to tell you what I do. Wow, it's a busy time. I'm in 9 schools a week, doing stuff with primary and secondary schools just to help them to become more confident in using technology appropriately. So let me tell you a typical day. So I might go into a primary school and just help them to actually do some coding. So with Key Stage 1, that tends to be on something like Scratch Junior, which is open-ended, so that they can create an adventure. And it can even include their face as a space person on the moon. With Key Stage 2, there's a variety of things. So most people have heard of Scratch, which is brilliant, but you can also control stuff using Scratch. So you can control motors, or you can use an input to control what happens to the sprite. So you could have a bit of tin foil. When you touched it, it would make the sprite jump up in the air. What else do I do? Well, I'm really into makerspaces at the moment. So what is a makerspace? Well, basically, it's an area where children will construct stuff. So it could be technical stuff. It could be soft stuff with paper, glue, and then they share what they've done on a blog.
Thanks so much, everyone, especially if you contributed this week and for listening in to this special episode. If you'd missed the EdTech podcast, if it wasn't around, do make sure you check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/the EdTech podcast, and also look out for our listeners survey. All info and first birthday celebration news will be on our Twitter feed at Podcast EdTech, and we'll also be sharing our interview this week with David Bray, CIO of the FCC, on machine learning and education in an exponential age. Have a great week.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.